Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at how artificial intelligence is changing how we learn.
Really exciting stuff.
Yeah, it is. And we've got a really interesting resource to help us dig into all this.
We do.
It's a guide written specifically for teachers who want to start using AI with their students.
Hmm.
It's called Tisite Noimos ti Didaskala Enovatstimis Mondo Lusatos PDF.
Quite a mouthful.
It's in Greek.
Uh,
Written by Alexandros Koftéros.
okay.
And it's packed with practical examples and activities.
That's great for teachers who really want to get hands-on with this stuff.
Exactly. You know, one of the things that really caught my eye was how this guide connects the history of AI all the way back to ancient Greece.
Oh, yeah.
Like the story of Talos.
Talos.
Yeah, the giant bronze warrior.
Oh, right. Yeah, I remember that myth.
Remind me about Talos. What was his deal?
Well, he was this mythical being created by Hephaestus, the Greek god of blacksmiths, to protect the island of Crete.
So like a really early concept of a robot or AI.
Yeah. You can think of him that way, programmed to carry out specific tasks, right?
Yeah.
Guarding the island.
That's so cool. It makes me think about all the robots and AIs we see in sci-fi movies these days.
Absolutely.
Like in The Matrix or Star Wars.
Like we've always been fascinated by this idea of artificial beings, right?
Totally. It's like a deep-seated part of our imagination.
And, even before modern science fiction, people were trying to build machines that could kind of think like humans.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, the guide actually mentions this really fascinating example of a chess-playing machine from way back in the day.
Oh, yeah. I think I've heard of that. It was supposed to be unbeatable.
That's the one.
How did it work? Was it really that smart?
Well, not exactly. That turns out there was actually a human chess master hidden inside the machine controlling its moves.
What?
Yeah, it was a total illusion, but a brilliant one. It really fooled people.
Wow, that's amazing. So even back then, people were dreaming up these incredible machines. But, we don't have to go that far back to find AI. It's all around us now, isn't it?
It really is.
I mean, think about all the virtual assistants on our phones and smart speakers in our homes.
Yep, all powered by AI.
And they're getting smarter all the time, right?
Exactly. That's because they're using something called machine learning.
Machine learning. I always hear that term, but what does it actually mean?
Well, it's basically how AI systems learn and improve over time.
Okay.
So every time you ask your virtual assistant a question or give it a command, it's actually learning from that interaction.
So the more we use them, the better they get at understanding what we want.
Exactly.
Got
It's
it.
all about patterns and data. The AI looks for patterns in your requests and uses that data to improve its responses.
That's pretty amazing. And speaking of AI learning and improving, this guide we're looking at, it talks about some really cool AI tools that teachers can use
Yeah.
to create content for
Right.
lessons and things.
It's pretty incredible what's possible now with these tools.
I know. It's like having a whole team of assistants working behind the scenes.
Right.
So what are some of these tools that really stand out?
Well, there are a few that are getting a lot of attention. ChatGPT, Bing Image Creator, Stable Diffusion Web, and Deep Dream Generator.
Whoa, that's a mouthful.
It is. And they all do slightly different things, but they all have one thing in common. They're powered by AI, and they're making it easier than ever for teachers to create engaging learning experiences.
Okay, let's break these down one by one. What's ChatGPT all about?
So ChatGPT is a really powerful language model. It can generate text, translate languages, write different kinds of creative content, and answer your questions in an informative way, even if they are open-ended, challenging, or strange.
Okay, so how are educators actually using it in the classroom?
Well, imagine being able to give ChatGPT a topic, and it spits out a full-fledged lesson plan.
What?
Yeah, it's that good. And it can tailor the plan to specific learning objectives.
That's incredible. No more late nights prepping lessons.
Well, it could certainly make things easier. The guide actually gives an example of a lesson about ancient Greece.
Oh, yeah.
And ChatGPT generated this whole plan, including key events, important figures, and even questions to get students thinking critically.
That's really cool. So it's not just spitting out facts, it's helping teachers create really engaging lessons.
Right, and it doesn't stop there. You can also use ChatGPT to create quizzes.
So like on-the-fly assessment.
Exactly tailored to what you've been teaching.
Yeah.
And it can even help you write original stories to spark students' imaginations.
That's wild. So we can create text with AI, but what about visuals?
Oh, yeah. That's where those other tools come in Bing Image Creator, Stable Diffusion Web, and Deep Dream Generator.
Okay.
These are all AI-powered tools that let you create images just by describing what you want.
Whoa, hold on. So I could type something like a panda bear wearing a top hat and riding a unicycle on the moon. and it would create that image.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
The guide actually talks about how easy these tools are to use, even for someone who's not an artist.
That's really cool. What kind of examples does the guide give? Like, how are teachers actually using this in their lessons?
Well, one example that stood out to me was a really surreal, dreamlike landscape created with Deep Dream Generator.
Oh, wow.
And the image was inspired by Salvador Dali's artwork.
That's so cool. I can see how using these tools could really capture students' imaginations.
Absolutely. It's one thing to read about art history, but it's a whole other level to see AI generate a piece of art right in front of you.
Totally. And it's not just for art, right? You could use these tools for any subject.
Yeah. The guide talks about teachers using Bing Image Creator to make visuals for science lessons, for example.
So, like, instead of just looking at a diagram in a textbook?
Yeah, students can see a 3D model of a molecule generated by AI.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. This is incredible. So we've talked about creating text, creating images. What about something like math? Can AI help with that too?
It actually can. ChatGPT especially is really good at helping students understand and even solve complex math problems.
Seriously, you're telling me AI could have saved me from all those hours struggling with algebra homework?
It's possible. ChatGPT can break down even the toughest math problems into step-by-step explanations.
So it's like having a personal tutor available 24/7.
Yeah, pretty much.
I would have loved that in school. What kind of example does the guide give?
Well, they actually use a real-world problem from Cypriot schools.
Okay.
It involved calculating the cost of a trip, factoring in things like distance fuel consumption and gas prices.
Sounds familiar.
And ChatGPT was able to break the problem down into manageable steps, explain each step clearly, and arrive at the correct answer.
Wow. I'm starting to see the potential here. Did the guide talk about any other ways AI can be used in math?
Yeah, it mentioned using AI to create graphs and charts from data,
Ah, that's helpful.
which is really useful for visualizing information and making complex concepts easier to grasp.
So students could collect data from a science experiment
Yeah,
and then have AI generate a graph for them.
exactly. It would save so much time and make data analysis much more accessible.
All right, so AI can help create content, it can help with math. What about presentations? I remember spending hours agonizing over PowerPoint slides back in school.
I hear you. The guide actually introduces a tool called Tome AI.
Tome AI, what's that?
It's like PowerPoint on steroids.
Yeah.
Basically, it can create entire presentations complete with text and images in seconds.
Whoa, hold on. You're telling me this thing can make a presentation for me, just like that?
Pretty much. And the guide gives a great example. They use it to create a presentation about the Great Pacific Garbage Patch.
Okay.
And Tome AI was able to put together this really engaging and informative presentation about this important environmental issue.
I bet the visuals were amazing.
They were. And think about all the time teachers could save using a tool like this.
That's true. They could focus on actually teaching instead of messing around with slides.
Exactly.
So we've got content creation covered, math, presentations. What about music?
Music.
Yeah.
Right.
Is there anything in the guide about using AI to create music?
Actually, there is. They talk about AI music generators, specifically one called Beethoven.
Beethoven, I love it. What can it do?
Well, with Beethoven, you can create custom music by choosing different moods, genres, and instruments. You don't even need any musical training.
That's so cool. So I could create a soundtrack for a video project or a presentation without having to hire a composer.
Yep. And the guide talks about how Beethoven can be used to explore different musical styles, which could be really fun for students.
I can imagine kids going crazy for that. So we've talked a lot about how teachers can use AI, but what about students?
No question.
Yeah.
This guide actually goes beyond just using AI tools. It also gets into how AI learns.
Oh, interesting.
And they introduce a website called Google's Teachable Machine, which lets anyone create their own AI model.
Wait, anyone? You mean even I could create AI?
Exactly. It's designed to be super user-friendly. You don't need any coding experience. You basically just teach the AI by showing it examples.
Examples of what?
It could be images,
Yeah.
sounds, or even poses. For example, you could teach it to recognize different types of fruit.
So you showed a bunch of pictures of apples, then a bunch of bananas.
Yep. And it learns to tell the difference between them.
That's amazing. It's like it's learning just like we do by seeing examples and figuring out the patterns.
Exactly. And the guide talks about how you can teach it to recognize sounds,
Oh, cool.
like a dog barking versus a cat meowing, or even different poses like standing up or sitting down.
That's so creative. I can see how this would be a really fun way to teach kids about AI.
Absolutely. It takes something that seems really complex and makes it hands-on and understandable.
Totally. And speaking of hands-on learning, I know you're a big fan of Scratch, the visual programming language for kids.
Yeah,
Does the guide mention anything about using AI with Scratch?
it does. There's a tool called machine learning for kids.
Oh, cool. What can you do with that?
You can actually create AI projects right in Scratch.
No way.
Yeah.
So you could train an AI model and then use it to control a game.
That's the idea. The guide gives an example of a game where you control a character using hand gestures.
So you move your hand left, the character moves left on the screen.
Exactly. It's super interactive and engaging.
Kids would love that. Are there any other AI-powered Scratch tools out there?
Yeah. The guide also mentions Ray's Playground.
What's that?
It's another Scratch environment, but it comes with built-in AI extensions that make it easy to create games with AI features.
Like what kind of features?
One example is a game where you control a character using your facial expressions.
What? So if you smile, the character jumps.
Exactly. It's like magic.
That's incredible. It sounds like both machine learning for kids and Ray's Playground are taking Scratch to a whole new level.
They really are. And they're both great examples of how AI can make learning more playful and experimental.
I love it. It's so inspiring to see how creative people are getting with AI in education.
Me too. And it's clear that we've only just scratched the surface of what's possible.
Yeah. There's a whole world of AI learning out there waiting to be explored.
Yeah.
Well, this has been an amazing start to our deep dive. We've gone from ancient myths to cutting-edge AI tools, and it's clear that AI is transforming how we learn.
It really is. And in the next part of our deep dive, we'll be exploring how AI is being used to personalize learning, tailoring education to each student's unique needs.
That's a topic I'm really excited to dig into. It seems like AI has the potential to make learning more engaging and effective for everyone.
I think so too, and I can't wait to share more about it with you.
Sounds great. We'll be back after a short break to explore the world of personalized learning with AI. Stay tuned.
Looking forward to it.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Before the break, we were talking about all these amazing AI tools that are changing how we teach and learn.
Yeah, it's really an exciting time for education.
It is. And one of the things I'm really curious about is this idea of personalized learning and how AI can help make that a reality.
Yeah, personalized learning has become a really big focus in education these days.
For good reason, right?
It's this idea that we can tailor educational experiences to each student's unique needs, skills, and interests.
That sounds incredible, but how does it actually work in a real classroom? Like, isn't it impossible for a teacher to create completely individualized lesson plans for every single student?
Yeah, that would be pretty overwhelming for any teacher.
Yeah.
But that's where AI can really step in and help.
Ah,
AI can analyze huge amounts of data about each student.
like what kind of data?
Well, think about test scores, homework assignments, how quickly they're grasping new concepts, even how engaged they are in different activities.
So it's like having this AI assistant working alongside the teacher, helping them understand each student on a much deeper level.
Exactly. AI can spot patterns and insights that a teacher might miss just by observing a student in the classroom.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. Let's say a student is struggling with a particular concept in math.
Okay.
AI could analyze their past work and pinpoint exactly where they're getting stuck, and then suggest specific exercises or activities that would help them overcome that obstacle.
That's so cool. So instead of giving the whole class the same homework assignment, a teacher could use AI to create personalized assignments that target each student's needs.
Exactly. And AI can even take it a step further by giving students real-time feedback as they're working on those assignments.
Whoa, hold on. So we're talking about AI actually grading homework.
In a way, yeah.
Mm.
It's more about providing feedback that helps students learn and improve.
Okay, so let's talk about feedback. I remember getting those generic comments on my homework like, good job, or try again.
Yeah, those aren't very helpful.
No, not at all. So how can AI give feedback that's actually meaningful?
Well, AI can analyze a student's work and provide very specific feedback,
Okay.
pointing out exactly where they went wrong and offering suggestions for how to improve.
So it's like having a personal tutor right there with you, guiding you through the learning process.
Exactly. And this kind of personalized feedback can really help students develop a deeper understanding of the material.
And probably build their confidence too, right?
Absolutely. When students feel like they're getting individualized support, it can make a huge difference in their motivation and engagement.
Earlier you mentioned that AI can even track things like a student's engagement level. How does that work?
Well, think about a classroom where students are using tablets or laptops.
Yeah.
AI can track how long they spend on different tasks,
Mm.
how often they ask for help, even their facial expressions as they're working.
Wait, facial expressions. Really? That seems like mind reading.
It's pretty amazing, right?
Yeah.
AI is getting really good at recognizing human emotions.
So if a student is frowning or looks confused, the AI can alert the teacher that they might need some extra help.
Exactly. It's all about using AI to create a more responsive learning environment where every student feels supported.
This all sounds so incredible, but I'm also thinking about the potential challenges here. There have to be some hurdles, right?
Of course, whenever you introduce new technology, especially in education, there are always challenges. Well, one of the biggest ones is making sure that these AI systems are being used responsibly and ethically.
Okay, can you elaborate on that? What do you mean by ethically?
Well, one thing to keep in mind is that AI systems are trained on data,
Right.
and sometimes that data can reflect existing biases in our society.
Ah, I see. So we need to be careful that these AI tools aren't perpetuating stereotypes or disadvantaging certain groups of students.
Exactly. AI should be used to create a more equitable learning environment, not one that reinforces existing inequalities.
Absolutely. So data bias is one potential challenge. What else should we be talking about?
Teacher training is a big one. We need to make sure that teachers have the support they need to effectively use AI in their classrooms.
Yeah, I can imagine that integrating AI into teaching requires a whole new set of skills.
It does. It's not just about learning how to use specific tools. It's about understanding how to integrate those tools into a teaching approach that puts the student at the center.
So it's not just about the tech itself. It's about using the tech thoughtfully and intentionally to create better learning experiences.
Exactly. And that requires ongoing professional development for teachers, as well as collaboration between educators, researchers, and the people who develop these technologies.
So it's really a team effort to make this work.
It is.
We've talked about some of the benefits and challenges of personalized learning with AI. Where do you see all of this heading in the next few years? What's the future look like?
It's always hard to predict the future, especially with technology that's evolving so quickly.
True.
But one thing's for sure, AI is going to play a huge role in shaping the future of education.
Mm.
We're really just at the beginning of this journey.
Can you paint a picture of what that future might look like? What are some of the exciting possibilities on the horizon?
Well, imagine a world where every student has access to a personalized AI tutor,
Okay.
available 24/7, adapting to their learning pace, providing customized feedback, and even offering encouragement and motivation.
That would be incredible, especially for students who might not have access to traditional tutoring or need extra support outside of school hours.
Exactly. And AI could also help personalize the curriculum itself.
How so?
It could offer students a wider range of learning paths and allow them to explore topics that truly ignite their passions.
It's like giving every student the opportunity to learn in a way that works best for them.
That's the goal, to create a more engaging and empowering learning experience for everyone.
It's so exciting to think about the possibilities, but of course we need to proceed thoughtfully and address those challenges we talked about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'm optimistic that AI has the potential to revolutionize education in a really positive way.
This has been such a fascinating conversation. And in the final part of our deep dive, I'm really excited to explore this idea of using AI to help us understand how the human brain learns.
Oh, yeah. That's a really fascinating area of research.
I can't wait to hear more about it. We'll be back after a short break to dive into that. Stay with us.
Sounds good.
Welcome back to the deep dive. I'm really excited to jump back into this conversation about AI in education. You mentioned that AI can actually help us understand how the human brain learns, and I have to say that's something I find completely mind-blowing.
It is a really fascinating area of research.
Yeah.
AI isn't just about creating cool tools.
Right.
It's also giving us these powerful new ways to study the brain and unlock the secrets of learning.
So how does that work? Can AI really tell us something new about how our brains learn?
It can. Think about all the data that's generated in education every day.
Oh.
Test scores, homework assignments, online learning platforms. AI can analyze these massive data sets and find patterns and insights that would be nearly impossible for humans to see.
So it's like AI can sift through mountains of data and help researchers see the big picture.
Exactly. For example, imagine a data set with information on how thousands of students solve different types of math problems.
Right.
AI could analyze that data to see which problem-solving strategies are most effective for different types of learners.
That's incredible. So we're talking about understanding not just what students are learning, but how they're learning it at a neurological level.
Yeah, we're getting into some really deep stuff here.
What other possibilities does this open up?
Well, AI is also being used to create these incredibly detailed models of the brain
Okay.
that can simulate how different parts of the brain work together during learning.
Brain simulations. That sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
It kind of is, and it's giving us a much deeper understanding of how the brain processes information, makes decisions, and forms memories.
It's like having a virtual lab where researchers can experiment with different learning scenarios and see how the brain responds.
That's a great way to put it.
So, what are the implications of this research for education? Like, how can this actually help students in the classroom?
Well, by understanding how the brain learns at this really fundamental level, we can develop more effective teaching methods,
Okay.
create more engaging learning environments, and design educational technologies that are truly aligned with how humans learn best.
So, it's about making education more brain friendly.
Exactly.
This is all so incredibly exciting. It seems like AI has the potential to revolutionize not just how we teach and learn, but also how we understand learning itself.
It really is a transformative technology,
Yeah.
and we're just beginning to explore its potential in education.
Well, this deep dive has been an amazing journey. We've gone from ancient myths to cutting-edge AI tools and even touched on the future of learning itself. It's been an incredible conversation, and I want to thank you for sharing your expertise with us.
It's been my pleasure. I always love talking about this stuff. And you know what's really exciting?
What's that?
This is just the beginning.
Yeah.
The world of AI and education is constantly evolving, and there are so many more exciting discoveries yet to be made.
That's what makes it so fascinating, right? There's always something new to explore.
Exactly. And for anyone listening who wants to learn more,
Yes.
I encourage you to check out the resources we mentioned in the guide. There's a whole world of AI learning out there waiting to be discovered.
And who knows, maybe someday you'll be creating your own AI-powered learning experiences or even contributing to this exciting field of research. The possibilities are endless.
Absolutely. It's an incredible time to be involved in this field.
I completely agree. Well, that's it for this deep dive into AI and education. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive into a topic that's sure to spark your curiosity.